When COVID-19 hit, the climate conversation at first took a backseat as hospital beds filled. But in the midst of the crisis, interest seemed only to grow as the pandemic reminded people of the risk of ignoring science and the world's interconnectedness. The intertwining of the economy and climate change promises to shape the global politics and society for the foreseeable future. All the science points to the criticality of the next 10 years to halt deforestation. The last decade witnessed concerted efforts to raise global awareness and action to halt deforestation, alongside increased urgency to act on climate change and, more recently, nature and biodiversity loss from agriculture activities, which are the leading cause of tree cover loss in tropical forests. Now, spurred by the alarming science, growing public fury, and a deadly pandemic, government officials, corporate and civil society leaders are finally waking up to a simple idea whose time has come. Climate is everything. Evidence states that climate change is going to be worse, faster in the progress, harder to predict. We are seeing climate change like we have never been able to predict in the past. Climate change required decisive action in the short term. We are at the tipping point where climate change means system change. There is still time to avoid the worst impact of climate change if we take strong action now. The key conclusion is tackling deforestation requires more integrated approaches and collective action. In 2020, Tropical Forest Alliance and its partners created a framework for collective action that serves as an urgent call to action for what we must achieve together in the post-2020 period to achieve deforestation-free supply chains. TFA, hosted by the World Economic Forum, is a multi-stakeholder partnership platform initiated to advance private sector commitments to remove deforestation from palm oil, beef, soy, and pulp paper supply chains. TFAs with 170 plus alliance partners include companies, government entities, civil society, indigenous peoples, local communities, and international organizations working together through forest-positive collective actions to advance the world's transition to deforestation-free commodity supply chain. TFA is recognized as the leading public-private partnership bringing together different perspectives and viewpoints from public and private sector to advance actions by the private sector leads to eliminate deforestation from supply chains. TFA position within the World Economic Forum offers unparalleled high-level convenings and communications outreach to elevate the profile of forest commodities issues. The TFA creates a space to understand and manage the tensions between different perspectives from global south to global north, market to producer, and public to private. Climate change demands a collaborative international response based on a shared agenda and shared goals and agreement on frameworks for climate actions. In 2018, the United Nations climate science body published a landmark and chilling report warning of a looming catastrophe if the world didn't accelerate the pivot to a low carbon economy. TFA mission is to catalyze the power of collective actions to drive the world's transition to deforestation-free supply chains, ensuring a forest-positive future.